Hello and welcome to another one of Teg's mini-series guides. So in the guide in this new guide we will be going through blazons and basically going through what are blazons, where you find them, to how you can upgrade them, how you can advance, refine them, and then where can you get blazons. So in today's episodes we're just going to go through a very quick basic introduction to blazons. So firstly, where can we find them? So you can find them in any of your troop building buildings. So you've got your workshop, stables, arch camp and barracks. Mine are all over here. Yours may be differently placed. So you click on them and blazon pops up just at the top here. Click blazon and it will take you to your troop with your blazons. So when it comes to blazons, you have 6 slots, just as your general has 6 equipment slots. The best way to view blazons is they are your equipment for your troops. So you have 2 blazons that affect your attack, which is the top left and the bottom left. Then you have your HP affecting ones, which are the other 2 on the right that aren't the attacking one. And the defense are the other 2 on your left. So, as I said, the best way to view them is they are your troops' equipment. But they are also very confusing, and hopefully we will sort out the confusion over the next series. So this one we're going to focus specifically on the blazon itself, the basic attributes that you can get from a blazon, and the rest of it we will go through slowly over the course of the mini-series. So, blazons are very good for helping you in your personal preference of how you play the game. So, are you an offensive player, a defensive player? Do you play the game just to kill monsters? These are the sort of questions you need to be asking yourself when you're looking at your blazons and which blazons are going to be helpful to you. So before we go into the blazon attributes, we're just going to start off with discarding 2 attributes from the beginning that you will never want or need, and I will see if I have any available quickly to show you. Yes, so training capacity down here, and there's another one of troop load. If you ever get these, you do not want to use these blazons, so do not lock them, do not equip them. These are the most useless of the stats. Now, there is another stat which is either very useful or some people may not have a use for it at all. And it is one that you'll primarily use on your mounted, as they are your primary monster killers, which is your monster troop attack, or your troop attack on monsters. So this one you will only really want to have on your mounted troops when you're using them to kill monsters. They obviously have no effect in your PvP, but they do give probably one of the highest, well, they do give the highest of all the sort of battle stats, I will call them. So they do start off at 1%, and as you can see on my level 21, of the 2 base stats it starts with, it goes up to 19.9%. Now, we'll just leave it at that on the high level ones, because we will go through upgrading and advanced refining in later episodes. So, now we've gone through the 2 ones that we want to discard straight away, and then the monster stats. What are the different PvP stats? And there are 5 of them, which is where it gets complicated. So, to start off with, you do have your reinforcing and defending stats, which I will have a look to see if I've got them here. So here we go. So you have reinforcing and defending. So, of course, these are more for your defensive players, and it depends on if you're reinforcing someone else or if you're defending yourself. So just keep an eye on that, where if you're defending primarily yourself, you're going to want to go for the defending ground troop HP. Obviously, depends on which unit you're using. But if you're going to help other people, you probably want to go for the reinforcing one. These both, as I said, start at 0.9%. So it just comes down to a choice of, are you going to be using them more to help other people or yourself? Then you also have the more offensive runes. Well, blazons, sorry, not runes. Don't know where that came from. You have the more offensive ones, which is your attacking and in rally. So obviously when you're with the attacking one, it is when you're attacking something. So if you're sending it off on a solo mission, it will take effect. Sometimes there is a bit of overlap and it will affect in other situations, but it just guarantees that if you're in a solo or if you're just attacking someone, it will take effect. In rally will obviously happen when you're rallying something. So as I said with monsters, if you're rallying a monster, the in rally will help towards this. And then obviously if you're in a battlefield or an SVS and you're rallying someone down, having an in rally does help with increasing your buffs in that rally. So the in rally starts at a 0.8% and the attacking starts at a 0.7%. And just a quick one, as you upgrade them, they get roughly that on average each level once you get them to the max level. So the last one to go through is one that's sort of in the middle, jack of all trades. So we've gone through the defensive, we've gone through the offensive, then you have just the regular troop. So for me, I've got the ground troop HP. So this will work in any scenario, attacking, defending, in rally, reinforcing, anywhere. So it is probably the most useful in every situation. However, it does start out at a 0.6% and caps out lower than the rest. So blazons are really hitting you on, if you know what your playstyle is and you play heavily into it, you're going to get more buffs for what you're spending or getting the blazons on, because you can hyper focus on that set of stats. However, if you're a jack of all trades, you can go for it. You will be slightly worse against someone who has, so for example, if you're attacking someone who has a defensive set of blazons, your stats that you get from these blazons are going to be less than them. But equally, if they then attacked you, so they've got defensive blazons but go on the offensive, you're going to have slightly more than them, just because your blazons work in both scenarios. So if you do have a certain playstyle that you do not deviate from, then going for a specific one can be the best one to go for. Or if you're more of a jack of all trades, then going for just the base troop ones are best. But then there's also cases like with the archers. How often do you use archers in a reinforcing or defensive manner as your primary troop? So you could just go for the offensive ones there, and then with your, say, ground troops, where you use them in more of a defensive manner, obviously you can use them in the attacking manner, but generally you have to be quite a bit bigger than the other player. You could do them that way. So now we've gone through some of the different stats that you can get. Obviously with this one, as I said earlier on, it's got a ground troop load. It is level 10, so I'm just going to keep it there. I'm not going to do anything else with this one because it's now got a useless stat. But what happens when you get, say, a level 1 and you want to keep it? So, for example, a defending ground troop and reinforcing ground troop. So I want to keep this one, hypothetically. How do I save myself from ever using it or getting rid of it by mistake? Well, you have this lock key thing just next to change. If you press it, it locks your blazon, so that if you ever went to get rid of any or upgrade them, it would never use this blazon. So that's just, if you go through all your blazons, and look for them, you can lock them. So one of the best ways to go through locking your blazons and choosing which ones you want is actually going to your items, and then at the top here is this little shield just at the second to most right, and you can do blazon filter. So this one will go through your troops, the blazon types, which we will go through in the next video. The set types, again, we'll go through this in the next video, but as we went through this video, the buffs, the conditions on which these buffs take effect, and how many of these you want to affect. So for every level 1 there is only up to 2, but if you have more that you need to sort through, you can sort through them this way. And you can then lock the blazons that you want to keep. As you can see here, I haven't got this one locked, but I have this one locked. So this is just a very quick introduction and basic guide to individual blazon stats. In the next video we will go through the set bonuses that you can get from them and how that can help your gameplay. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.